Hi, this is Heidi, episode 72, My Favorite Thoughts 2020 edition. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello. Happy 2020 holidays. Happy Hanukkah to my Jewish friends and a very Merry Christmas to my Christian friends. It looks Christmassy here in Boston because we got a big snowstorm yesterday, so about a week before this episode will be released. Now, I hope you're a member of my Facebook group for women lose weight and gain confidence for Heidi. Right now, there are just 2 weeks left to sign up for my new group weight loss program, Lose 13 Pounds in 13 Weeks. The program will honestly help you in every area of your life. We are just going to dig into kind of those areas about our bodies and weight loss. The program has 3 main pillars that the video classes and workbooks will address: our beliefs, our emotions, and habits. Now, most programs or plans only talk about the habits to lose weight. And again, I like those programs. I have learned a lot from them. But to really change our relationship with food and our bodies, we have to address the root causes, what we're thinking, what we're believing, because it's in our emotions fueling if we eat or don't eat, if we go to the gym or don't go to the gym, if we eat food that we're offered, or if we learn to say no. I'm going to teach you the tools and skills to handle this so that the changes are permanent. Okay. And I love the underlying and the foundation concepts of compassionate self-awareness and really seeing ourselves, knowing that we are unique, that we are equal, and that we are enough, that I'm going to be teaching that really hold up all the other changes that we're going to make. It's a huge transformation. Okay, the group includes weekly group coaching calls, weekly video classes, which are pre-recorded, and you can watch and rewatch all that you want, and unlimited Voxer access to me. Voxer is a really cool free voice messaging app. It's kind of like texting, but it's faster and a lot more personalized. Okay, and I will be closing up the group when it gets full and we'll go to a wait list. So make sure that you click join now at the top of my website, HeidiBenjaminson.com, and you can read if the program's right for you and sign up there. Now, last Christmas, I released an episode of my favorite thoughts, and I heard from many of you that those thoughts have really stuck with you through the year, and I still think them all the time. This year, this episode is going to be my second edition of a favorite thoughts episode. These are thoughts that are on my go-to. They're very ingrained in how I think and process the world, people, and events around me. Now, my first thought is a question I ask myself, especially when I find my head spinning out, or I find myself getting frustrated or judging or too preoccupied with what someone else is doing. I ask myself, who do I want to be? I asked myself this a lot in September when I found out my children would be doing remote school. We would continue to be in the house together a lot. I thought this year might be hard for my oldest. I worried about his struggles as he applies to college and deals with so much uncertainty, and he does not like change or uncertainty. So I asked myself over and over, who do I want to be as a mother to my children home? Who do I want to be? Do I want to be hovering or stressed and annoyed? I had to sincerely ask myself that because on default, I could have gone to that. But I easily knew that wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't who I wanted to be. I wanted to be focused on my work for the hours I needed to be. I didn't want to be distracted or annoyed by people all around. And I also wanted to let my kids be pretty independent. This question gave me back my power with so many things out of control this fall. Now, another example, last summer, I was coordinating a lot of family activities that my dad had asked me to manage, including a week in a vacation home. I desperately wanted to enjoy this week while also keeping tabs on lots of details. I could have very easily stressed the details, wanting perfection and coordinating too much. I was so intentional every day. Who do I want to be for this week? I wanted to be engaged with my extended family. I wanted to enjoy this unique and special time. And I also wanted to be very patient and understanding as we blended different personalities. Every day, and sometimes multiple times a day, I asked myself this, and it totally recentered me back into me showing up, talking, acting, thinking at my highest and best that week. I delegated, I asked for help, I ended up doing only the things I wanted to, and I was detached from making everyone happy. And this allowed me to be the sister, daughter, mother, and auntie that I want to be. This thought, who do I want to be, is great when we're blaming everyone around us or complaining about how people are acting. Those are all things we don't have control over. We do always have control over how we react. And deciding who I want to be allows me to intentionally react. So the person in line in front of me is rude or inconsiderate. Well, who do I want to be? Do I want to be rude back? Do I want to be annoyed? One of my sister-in-laws isn't by marriage in our family anymore. She and her husband, my brother-in-law, divorced a couple years ago. Our birthdays are only one day apart. I think about her and I really care for her. And over the past couple years, I repeatedly ask myself when holidays or our birthdays come up, who do I want to be? What type of family member and sister-in-law do I want to be? The answers to that drive how I connect and care for her. My answers are totally independent of what anyone else thinks or does. It has allowed me to show up the way I want to. I promise you, if you allow this thought to be easily accessed in your mind in small and big situations, it will change how you feel. It will change the focus of your thoughts. I feel so much calmer and more centered. I know I said that earlier, but I feel like I can show up, acting and talking much more in integrity with who I want to be. I'm worried about what I'm thinking and not trying to figure out or control other people, which turns out doesn't work anyway. So that's my thought gift number 1 for you this year. Okay, my next favorite thought is this food doesn't get me to my health goals. Now, I say this a lot. If I'm offered food that I haven't planned on eating or maybe see bagels in my kitchen, I immediately think this food doesn't get me to my goals. Now, notice I'm not judging the food as good or bad, really. But I am doing an instant ranking in my head, and I can even picture if the food opens the way to a healthy future I want, or does this food become a roadblock and slow me to my goals? This year hasn't been a big year for like events or food and social or unplanned gatherings. This thought, though, works very well in every situation. Most of us live with families that have different tastes and desires. They may bring food into our home, and we may have to decide if we're going to eat something or not. Now, when I can look at food and remind myself of what my goals are, I can put my higher brain online and quiet some of the instant gratification desire. In my mind, I can quickly picture how I want to feel tomorrow or in a month. And friends, being able to use our higher brain and access our future self is one of the most powerful tools we can use to make good nutrition and exercise choices. At the movie theater, we're always tempted by the buttery popcorn and candy. Remember, this food doesn't get us to our goals, I'm guessing. It might for some of you. For me, it doesn't get me to my goals. I used to love bread. I have totally ended a love affair pretty much with bread. But still, sometimes that yummy bread is put on the table. Sometimes I take a little, but usually I pass because I tell myself consciously that food doesn't get me to my health goals. Now, this thought can also be used when you have a single serving and you used to go back for more. Tell yourself, more servings are not going to help me reach my goals. Now, doing this sends such a strong message to our mind, body, and soul that we matter, that our future goals, our future body all matter, and we are worth taking care of. When I think this thought, somehow saying no thank you just seems so much easier to me. I need less willpower. It's like my present and future me are saying no, And I'm also at the same time saying yes to being more active and feeling better. So the no doesn't feel restrictive. It feels empowering. Okay, the third thought from this year is this. This is going to be easy. This year, I've needed to figure out a lot of things. I've had to adjust my sales, like all of you have had to. All of our challenges have been a little different. Now, this thought doesn't work with everything because it isn't believable, especially when some things are hard and we can figure it out. But I have found repeatedly that I'll make something so much bigger in my mind. I'll create a big problem and think it will take me hours to solve a problem, and then only to find a solution in 20 minutes or realize it wasn't really a problem. So there is wisdom in knowing when the thought that this is going to be easy will be helpful. The thing I like about this thought, this is going to be easy, is that it makes my brain find new ideas, solutions, and possibilities that I hadn't seen prior. Or maybe there were easy solutions I discounted thinking they wouldn't work. Remember, we find what we're looking for. So if I always think something's hard, I'm going to find the hard. When I intentionally want to make something easy, I'll use my time wiser and even ask for help. Last summer, when we were in our vacation home for a week with 24 people, everyone had quarantined prior. Anyways, I kept thinking, how can we make the meals easy? We found easy ways. We hired caterers for the dinner. We kept it easy and light. In my business, there is enough that's hard, and I'm learning new technology. I'm creating new things. I kept asking, how can I make this easy? Because often other people are going to appreciate the easy solution as well. Now, this isn't to say that doing something hard or spending time to do an excellent job isn't worthwhile. It is. And I do enough of that. But often we make something harder than it needs to be. This weekend, I gave a talk in church in Portuguese. I learned to speak that 27 or so years ago when I lived in Portugal for a mission for my church. I was anxious as it was about just the speaking part. So I asked myself, now, how do I make this easy? I wrote the talk in English, which was easiest for me, and I put it in Google Translate. Then I sent it to my friend for the final grammar edits. The hard part was the practicing and saying it all. I couldn't get out of that part, but I could make all the other steps as easy as possible and utilize conveniences and people who were so willing to help. I like how my brain relaxes when I tell it that something's going to be easy. Like it isn't unnecessarily tense before I have to do something. It also takes some perfectionistic pressure away from doing something. I'm focused on the process and how uncomplicated I can make it versus focusing on desiring some amazing outcome. Now, sometimes it isn't always easy. And guess what? Easy is all relative. And it isn't to gaslight myself that something hard isn't hard. But often I just need this thought to relax my emotions so I can get focused on a task or project. Okay, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Enjoy your time with those in your circle. Be present. Try not to compare this holiday to the past or worry or project into the future. This is hard for me. I'm doing this work right with you. Okay, make sure you sign up for the Lose 13 Pounds in 13 Weeks program, even if you want to lose more or lose less. 13 weeks is enough time to make a change in your relationship with food, your body, and your mind. You can sign up at HeidiBenjaminson.com. A confident mother is the greatest gift to her family. Not a perfect one. Your family wants you to feel confident, anchored, and calm. I can guide and coach you to uncover this beautiful version of yourself. Have a great week.